Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and we have another Evolve episode that just happened a little bit longer than one day ago. Normally, I like to get these right afterwards, but this wrestling week has been insane. So it's a little late, but I hope you guys still enjoy. So we're going to go over the episode pretty much segment by segment. I got most of them up here. There's a few little things, but love the cool thing about Evolve is like there's a pretty nice chunk of segments in here for an hour, and I feel like they've really gotten it down pat on the thing. Now, the flip side of it is sometimes there's episodes that's going to be a stinker, and this one is kind of close to it. So we'll start off. They got some new little like jumbotron things here, like that. I thought is like a nice little upgrade. I feel like them upgrading the performance center that they're working out of. I think it's kind of cool. Like I like that idea. I do feel like they should do like a little bit of like purple lighting or something. I think that would definitely be good, or even just like purple ring ropes and stuff, because like their whole thing is the purple and like silver, so like it should be something that they incorporate a little bit into the ring. And yeah, I mean, I'm kind of cool with that. Maybe even a logo in the middle. I feel like all that's just kind of small stuff that you might want to do over time, but I think it's a nice little touch that they did this, so I'll put it up in S tier. It's a small little thing, but I wanted to point it out because them upgrading and doing stuff to the show means that the show is doing well. And then next up, we had Kiana Carver versus Timothy Thatcher. Now, I never like watched Timothy Thatcher wrestle other than in Evolve. I know he's like a legend and he was in the OG Evolve. But man, they've done this man dirty. Every match he's in is just bad. I don't even think it's his fault. I just think like they don't obviously let him win, really. I mean, he won by disqualification, but do you really count that as a win? I don't really, because it's just he got beaten down. But yeah, I'm not 100% pumped for what they're doing with this. The match itself was okay. I definitely felt like they should have, I don't know, maybe made it a little bit more like intense. Like this is supposed to be an intense rivalry, and Keanu Carver's trying to take out all the ID program talent. I feel like he should have knocked out a couple more ID talent before he faces the coach. I think it's going to be a Sean Legacy thing where he's going to take him out, and I like that end story. But I feel like there could have been one or two other attacks or like matches before we got to that point. But I guess they're kind of having a lot of storyline, which I like, but sometimes isn't always the greatest. But this is serviceable, but not that great. Next up, we had Chantel Moreau versus Mason Holiday. This one had a couple really good spots, but I think overall kind of struggled to really be like, the crowd wasn't really into it. They just really didn't have that much in-ring chemistry. They did have some really nice spots, so I do like that. At least I can say that like I at least enjoyed watching it because there were some really nice things that they did. Just overall, I don't think I'd put it much higher than a C. I do kind of like it better than the Kiana Carver Thatcher match, but it's whatever. Next up, we had, honestly, probably my least two favorite people on the roster now that it seems like Ridge Holland has been all the way down to Evolve. I don't want to use demoted. I feel like that's kind of a nasty word to use when it's somebody's career, but I'm not a big fan of Ridge Holland. I think that match that they had with Chase U killed like a lot of people's careers, and including his. And now that he's down in Evolve, I mean, what are they going to have him do down there? I don't really feel like he's kind of the fit there. I almost feel like he should just go back to the main roster and work with either Pete Dunne or even Sheamus. Like, try to like turn face and do better with that, because at least they could be a tag team that can wrestle. But him just kind of being an asshole isn't really much of a gimmick. And then he goes against Tate Wilder, who I just cannot get behind. So this is just terrible. I mean, I do want to see them wrestle just because for the hell of it, but yeah. And then at the end of it was actually this match, Tyra May Steele came down, the winner of Evolve. Now, she won Evolve and got the NXT contract. She had one match there that wasn't that good, and then they put her in a month in catering, and now she's here? Like, what? This is not good. Jasper Troy has a title match. He had a title match on NXT, and then now he's on a PLE this weekend. And Tyra Bay Steele is working Evolve tapings. And, like, I don't even think she's up there as being, like, that crazy of a person. Like, she has what we'll talk about next, a triple threat next weekend, or next week, that's kind of like maybe the number one contender for Callie Armstrong's title. But what? Like, this is just kind of crazy. This is crazy sauce that they put her down there. I'm going to put that in D. They do not pull the plug that soon on her. Speaking of that triple threat, I honestly think it's going to be good, so I'll put it up in S. I think the three that are in there, Chantel Moreau, Tyra May Still, and Kylie Ray, I think they're going to have a pretty great match and would probably be the main event if there wasn't a title match, which we had the contract signing, Jackson Drake versus Lindsay Dorado. Now, I would actually be really excited for this, but they've already announced that Jackson Drake on the 19th or 19th, 20th is going to defend the title at an ID program showing. So Evolve will take place before that, so there's no way Lindsay Dorado wins. I don't know why they do that type of stuff. It baffles me in this day and age that you can't do it. At least like on some of the other graphics, you're like, oh, it's of this person or this person. Like every time they do that, and I know everything is predetermined and all that, but I like to have that opportunity to be like, there's a possibility that we could see something change. I do think this match is going to be really good, so I am excited for it, but I kind of hate that we don't have any mystery behind it. Then we showed Kendall Gray and Kylie Bright talking about that once they get better, they're going to go after the attacker. I like the storyline. The attacker storyline heated up a lot on this whole thing, so I was cool with everything that was involved in this. So I think I'll put it up in S tier also. And then we get to the main event. It was Callie Armstrong versus Natalia. This match cooked. I mean, obviously Natalia, is a legend, and going against somebody who's super young and hungry, I think it really translated well. That there was some like desperation on both ends, because obviously Armstrong does not want to lose the title when she just got it, her first defense, and obviously Natalia's trying to prove to the younger people that she has still got it. And I thought the match was really good. I really thought this was a good match. I put it up in A tier. I definitely wouldn't put it up the S tier. There was definitely some issues with their back and forth, but I think as a solid match, and especially for Evolve, it was really good. I really high regard it as probably a top 5 match so far in the matches. Even though I gave it a little bit lower, I still think it deserves that. Then at the end, Callie Armstrong gets attacked by the attacker, which is Gintala. Doesn't make any logical sense to the timeline, because she was still on LFG during the time that like it would have fit because of the airing, even though they were airing and filming at the same time. But ignore all of that. It was at least an interesting reveal. I kind of was hoping that it would be somebody crazy and not Wendy Chu, because I was like, this is at least a storyline. And it lasted a couple episodes where we didn't have this long thing that takes 5 months to finally figure out who this attacker is, and at that point we don't give a shit. It's actually still relevant, and then we'll put Gintala as honestly the biggest heel in the company, or in the Evolve right now on the women's side, which then allows her to be able to feud with a bunch of these baby faces, and I think it'll be great. Because I forget, it was Kendall Gray that got attacked, so I think Kylie Bright will probably have the first match against Gintala to like try to help her friend out, lose that, and then give Kendall Gray an opportunity. I think there was one other person that was attacked. I forget. Was Layla Diggs' opponent? I don't remember who it was. Was it Mason Holiday? But yeah, I can see Gintala going through all of them first until she finally gets to Kendall Gray, which will elevate both of them phenomenally further. So I like it. I like the storyline. I like this being the thing. It definitely could have been handled worse, but I think overall it was pretty good. I'll probably put the episode up as a B+. All the segments I thought were really good, which is always a hit or miss with Evolve. The matches itself weren't the greatest, but I think some of it was just maybe more of the flavor of them that it's not really what I liked. But I think overall the show was pretty good. But yeah, if you guys enjoy these Evolve videos, we do them every week. Same thing with Raw, SmackDown, and now NXT for the time being is asterisk next to it. But if you enjoy this, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.